Little update on the green stalk. The strawberries are really popping. We've ate several. I've harvested quite a lot of lettuce and still have some. We've had some cooler days. Usually by this time in Missouri, it's really hot and humid, and we've only had a couple of those days. So far, some of these cooler loving plants are hanging in. So maybe we'll get something off of them after all. But look at those strawberries. My cilantro's going to seed. And some rosemary here that's starting to find its way. What else we got in here? This is lemon basil. Getting ready to have a flower on it, so let's pick that off of there. This stuff smells so nice and lemony. Got some parsley there. We got a little shih tzu there. Cabbage down the bottom is finally starting to take off, but something is having some snacks because I am finding some of this, but not finding the critter doing it. So I'm going to come out with a black light. I don't know. I think I expected there to be no bugs since I had this up on the deck, but apparently that is not correct. Look at this thing. Maybe I'll find my black light and bring you with me at night so you can kind of see what it looks like when you stumble across one. Here are some other things. My citronella, it's probably double the size it was when I planted it. Gardenias. They smell so nice. Cucumber seems to be doing pretty good, getting some blooms. And somewhere I did see, oh yeah, tiny little cucumber right there. So that's doing okay. And then we've got the zucchini. It's been a little bit slower than the rest because I've had to replant it a couple of times, but it's finally starting to wake up. My lime tree is really starting to look good since I put it back outside for the summer. It's starting to get some little blossoms on it. And I get these tiny little limes on there. You can see right there. And then they just disappear. They get a little bit bigger than that and then they're gone. So I don't know if something's eaten it or what. I've not successfully had a lime off of it yet, but I'm still really impressed with this begonia. It has a little fern in there too, but can't really see it too much. But look at these blooms. I think they're just so pretty. And it is really, really taking off. I try to give it a little spin every day. I mean, my goodness. I love that. Gotta have a little beauty to look at now and then. Peas seem to be doing okay. And last week we just had blossoms and they've all just taken off. So hopefully in another week or two we might be able to at least maybe get one good harvest off of them. Nothing to preserve, but just for fresh eating. And then over here I got some little green beans coming on. And some smaller plants following after. My beefsteak tomato is doing good. I've got to cut those bottom leaves off. And then this is a grape red tomato. It's got quite a lot of little fruit on it. Now we just get them ripe. marigolds, they're just not doing very good, but that's okay. I just discovered that. That's not ever been there before. It's pretty. And right there in this little mess, right there, I've got a patio raspberry, and it got mowed down this year, but it was planted last year, so hopefully with us mowing it down, maybe the roots are, it's sitting on a good root system. So maybe next year we'll have some berries off of that. Here we've got some figs that have been here a really long time. We've actually got them in a couple of different spots in the yard. But last year, this grouping didn't do great, so it needs to be cleaned out. We've got some, I think that's a walnut tree growing up through it, but yeah, we've got a few fig plants here and there. They'll be ready usually in the fall. Okay, down here at the big garden, and before we go into the actual garden, here we've got a tomato that we found in the chicken run. They have an enclosed area here that right now is being reworked, but they also, on the other side of it, they have an access to what was a pig yard, and it's full of grass and all that, so they can go and come and say they're basically free ranged. But I found this tomato plant in the chicken run of all the things. Everything else is dirt, and then there's a tomato plant. So I dug it up and I put it in this pot, and then all these other little things around it are holy basil that also came up all over the garden, inside the garden in the mulch. This is the same thing, another tomato plant that was in the chicken yard, and that one was a sucker that I pulled off of it and just stuck it in the ground, and it took off and it's doing pretty good. So let's go inside the garden. Now, we did a little bit of work on it this weekend. My husband weed-eated. There were so many weeds, so he got in here and weed-eated really good, and there's been quite a lot of growth in here since the last time I brought you out here. We had found a black snake right down in here, right in the corner of this bed, right in here. We did away with him. And so my onions are doing good. There is these are some more holy basil. They've popped up all over the mulch here, and I've just been pulling them up, kind of like I did the salvia. I just pull them up and stick it in a bed somewhere. They smell so good. But my onions they're doing pretty good. I need to come out and start scraping the dirt away from the bulb, because it looks like they're starting to kind of bulb up. I did this to a couple of them already, and then some of them were smaller, so I thought I'd just give it a couple of days and then maybe come out and try it again. And then over here, the wild zinnia bed. This is a miscellaneous. It's all zinnias, watermelon. I think there's a cucumber in there, and then some of those little spoon tomatoes. I had a bunch of peppers in here last year. I wouldn't be surprised if I start seeing some of those pop up now that it's really gotten hot. But it's just so pretty. I didn't have the heart to pull them, any of it. It's just so pretty and wild, and it's kind of speaks to our where we're at right now with things. So the sweet potato bed, it's taken off pretty good. Got a few weeds that I need to still pull. There's a couple of zinnias in the corners that were just popped up in the mulch, and I've tried to dig them up and replant them. Right here is kind of an example of what I was telling you about the holy basil right there by the post. There's another one. they're all over right in here. That's where I had my herb bed last year, and the chickens got in and tore all the perennial herbs out. But they're just coming up everywhere. So I've just been planting them here and there. This was the jack-o'-lantern pumpkins, and as you can see, so yesterday that side looked like this side, and my husband got in there and weeded all that for me. Wasn't that nice of him to do that on Father's Day? He's so sweet. He's a peach. I'll keep him. And then we got over here, these are all voluntary tomatoes. The sunflowers we did plant, but some of them are also voluntary because we've had sunflowers in this area before. I had several other tomato plants in here. This was just almost side to side of tomato plants, and I've thinned a lot of them out, and I've planted some in other pots, but I had to just break down and throw some of them away, which I hated doing. I just feel guilty about it because, I mean, it's a plant, it's living, and I yank it up and throw it in the trash. It makes me feel bad. But I knew I had to thin it out if I wanted to get anything off of these, because they get too full and too packed in here, and then they don't get airflow. We've had so much rain, and that's when you start seeing a lot of blight. But the sunflowers, these all came back from wherever, and there's another one down there. But they're starting to put on some blossoms. They're going to probably bloom in the next week or so. This, it looks a little bit different now that we've got most of the weeds out, but and I know that's a weed, but I think it's pretty, so I left it. But all this stuff has just come back. I would love this whole area just to be packed, and just only have a room enough, like right here, just to walk through, and that's it, and the rest of it be flowers. But look, that salvia, there's two right there. There's one. They're all over the place like the holy basil. So I give it another year or so, and it may be. Our plan is to redo the garden, but I'm thinking about leaving this area alone so we don't disturb these. There's one. I think, so last year in that area, I planted those teddy bear sunflowers, and they never came up. So maybe that's one of them. I don't know. But, okay, moving on. I just spied this tomato plant on the other side. I'm going to get it from this side. I'll try to zoom in a little bit. I don't know if you can see that, but there are some little tomatoes on there. I might have to get it from the other side. And so I'm thinking that's probably a cherry tomato. These might all be cherry tomatoes, and if they are, I mean, I will be a little disappointed, but I didn't have to plant it, so I guess it's free food. I did, so this end of it last year was cherry tomatoes, but on this end there were bigger ones. I had Dr. Witchy, Paul Robeson, and then a couple of other ones, but I'm pretty sure those are probably going to be maybe a cherry tomato. You can see that. Right. I can't get a good view of it. Anyway, I need to tie it up. So maybe I'll get down here when it's a little bit cooler and tie them up. That rooster that's crowing, he's so funny. He literally sounds like a rubber chicken. You squeeze it and it squawks, and then when you let go of it, it squawks. And that's what he does. It's like he inhales. Listen. Anyway, he cracks me up. This one is pie pumpkins, I think, but I don't know the exact variety. And I've never grown those for eating before. But we're going to give it a shot. I could maybe make some pumpkin puree. However, I have heard that you shouldn't can that. So, I don't know. If you know, let me know. And this tomato, I gotta get something to stake it up with. I left it. I'm not quite sure what it is. I had a Dr. Witchy's in here one time, but it's been a couple years back. So I don't know if it would volunteer from that. Oh, you know what? Look, it's probably gonna be a cherry tomato with all those on there. It's probably cherry. I don't know. I'm not a tomato expert, but I did see right here. Oh, look at that little zinnia. It's funny. I just saw a blossom. Oh, right there. Uh-oh. Guess what else I see? Looky there. Them little rascals. Okay. Well, the pests have begun, so I guess I need to get something out here and get those little bug seeds off of there. Or eggs. I was hoping I was going to get by with not having any of that business, but I haven't shown this video or this bed in my last couple of videos. This is all strawberries, and we planted them for my grandson because he loves strawberries, and they did have quite a bit of strawberries on them already, but so I don't know if I can get a good picture. Down here at the base of the plants, let me see if I can, besides the wasp that just flew out. Right down there at the base of the plants, I don't know if you can see that, but it's just a bunch of, I don't know, it's ants have been in here, and it makes it almost look mildewy or moldy, kinda, but it's, I don't know what it is. But we didn't have a whole lot of strawberries out of this bed, but the green stalk is really putting them on. So I need to figure out what to do about that. There's my salvia transplants, and then I've got some in certain corners, like around the tomato bed. They're in each corner. I did manage to weed mostly this bed. This is the blueberry. And along the edges, I transplanted some of that holy basil. I don't know if it's a good idea, but I didn't want to not put it somewhere. But look, I've got one little blueberry. I had a couple more, but they've disappeared. Now, I don't know what all this is. I've not ever grown blueberries, so I don't know if that's a disease or if that's what blueberries are supposed to look like. If anybody has any suggestions or information about blueberries, I would welcome it. But that's kind of what we've got going on out here in the garden. I'm so thankful for my husband who got all these weeds out of here. I mean, there's still a little bit of grass and such over there on the ground, but it's so much better than it was. And hopefully we can maintain it now. But yeah, there's the wide angle view of it all, I guess. It's taken off a little bit. Normally it's pretty full and wild right now, but like I said, our season right now is fine. We're fine with this, and probably once those pumpkins start really going crazy, we're going to be glad that this was a light year for us. Well, thanks guys for coming along with me and my loudmouth roosters. I really appreciate you hanging out and going through these garden tours with me. It's probably pretty boring, but for me, it's fun to just kind of get in there and share this with you, and also I can kind of look back and see the progress, and maybe this time next year I can look back and realize how fortunate we are to have our health and just to have all the things that God's blessed us with. So thank you again for hanging out, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.